Okay, so there's something called the Benjamin Franklin close. And the Benjamin Franklin close is a old sales strategy for helping people understand the value that might be behind what you can actually see right in front of you right now. Okay. And what the Benjamin Franklin close, the way it goes is you can't see the dime that's behind the nickel. So essentially they're saying, look, if you stand up a nickel and you put a dime right behind the nickel, you can't see that dime because of the nickel. But there's actually more value behind that nickel than what you can actually see. Okay. And that's an old sales strategy that people have used to help people understand in situations where it seems like there's a certain value right in front of them, but on the back end, there's actually a lot more value. Okay. Or I guess you could say this is a great close that people have used over time to help people understand essentially delayed gratification. Okay. And this concept, although this is a sales concept traditionally, I think this is a concept that can help you as far as your career is concerned. All right, let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Career Strategies. My name is Rodney Hughes, Mr. 100%. And today's podcast episode is being brought to you by ResumeMistakes.com. This is a 100% free resume writing course that does not require any type of opt-in. Okay, it's 100% free. All you have to do is head over to the website. And when you go to this website, you're going to discover how to avoid making the 7 deadly mistakes that cause most candidates to fail miserably when writing a professional resume. So here's the gist of it. In this course, listen, if you want to know how to write a strong resume, okay, how to write a really, really good resume, the easiest way to write a really, really good resume is to avoid making the mistakes that cause people to write a bad resume. Okay. If you simply avoid those mistakes, you'll instantly exponentially improve your odds of actually writing a great resume. All right. It's the easiest way to write a great resume. All right. So if you'd like to learn more about what those 7 mistakes are so you can avoid those like the plague, all you got to do is head over to www.resumemistakes.com. Again, that's www.resumemistakes.com. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So again, you have to realize you don't miss the dime behind the nickel. Okay. There's a dime behind the nickel. We're talking about delayed gratification. So sometimes, as a recruiter, there oftentimes are situations throughout the process of a candidate receiving an offer. And this is what kind of made me think of it. There are times in the process of receiving an offer where it can be easy for a candidate to miss out on what the real long-term value is. And what makes me think of this is, like, just as an example, right? There can be a situation where, let's say as a candidate, you're having to relocate for a job, right? And let's say that you had a goal of getting a certain amount in relocation expenses to help you with your relocation that you're about to do. Okay, if you decide to move forward with an offer. Now, let's just imagine that, I don't know, let's just say that right now you're earning $100,000 as a base salary. And let's say that the offer that you just accepted puts you at, let's say, 140. Okay. Well, if you really think about this for a second, right? That is an exponential increase. I could tell you that on average, the average person is going to experience anywhere from about an 8 to an 11% increase in base salary compensation going from one job to the next. And that's considered a really, really good bump in your compensation. Okay. Obviously 140 is a much higher percentage bump than 8 to 11%, right? And if you think about it from this perspective, like if you were to stay where you are at 100,000 as a base, how long would it take you staying with that company to get to 140? Listen, the average increases that I see are typically going to be between 2 to 4% year over year. Okay, so if the average increase is about 2 to 4% year over year, then it's going to take you, excuse me, it's going to take you a long time to be able to get to 140. And that's where when you see people leverage their career, they're usually leveraging their career going to another opportunity, right? So I explained that to say, let's say that you decided to accept an offer where you're going from 100 to 140, but let's say that the relocation package really wasn't up to par with what you expected, right? It can be easy as a candidate for you to kind of allow your mind to go negative regarding that relocation package, right? And listen, I'm not saying that it's not worthwhile to negotiate a little bit if you think that really you do need a little bit more as far as relocation expenses, but you also have to know when you actually have a win. Don't allow that relocation package, aka the nickel, right, to distract you from the fact that you just leveraged your career by maybe 10 years if you got a 140, if you accepted a 140 offer and you're at 100 right now, right? That means moving forward, every single year, you're going to earn $40,000 more dollars, right, than what you were currently earning instantly, right? Because you accepted that offer. Don't allow the nickel to make you lose track of the actual dime, right? Because I just know that there are some candidates that may look at a situation like that and they may get a really sour taste in their mouth because they didn't get the relocation assistance that they ultimately desired. But if the offer is great, you got to be able to see the value that you're going to ultimately get over the long haul, right? So let's imagine that the relocation package was, I don't know, 30,000 and you were expecting 40,000 as for the relocation package. I'm just using round numbers just to make it easy, right? Well, you might be a little disappointed, right? That they only put 30 grand on the table, but listen, don't implode an opportunity for you to leverage your career and make $40,000 more over that 10,000, right? That it's kind of like being penny wise and dollar foolish, right? You're like, yeah, but it should have been 40. Okay. So make a habit of looking at things especially in the interview process. Try to see where the real value is, right? And listen, different companies approach their offers in different ways. So you might not always, it really does take you. Sometimes if you feel annoyed by something, what you'd be better off doing is actually writing out the entire offer and then write out what your current situation is, right? Because if you actually write it out and you look at what that looks like for the following years, you might realize, especially in the situation that I just laid out to you, man, you're winning, huh? You instantly earn what some people don't even make in a year by just accepting that offer. Yeah, you wanted 40,000 and they only gave you 30. Okay. Okay. You're still winning. Okay. And so I just wanted to share that as an example, because I know that situations like this can happen especially when you're trying to get a new job, and you don't want to take on a negative mentality about your situation when really you're actually winning, right? It's like sometimes we as human beings, we create a narrative and we buy into that narrative. And if you really were to just take a step back and really look at it, you realize that your narrative is wrong. Okay? That your narrative it may not be wrong that yes, you wanted that extra 10 grand to go from 30,000 to 40,000 for your relocation expenses, but you're wrong in the long-term view of things, right? The long-term view of things is that you going from 100 to 140 in base salary is galaxies more important than that 10,000. Okay. Over the life of your career. Okay. Because once you get to 140, you don't go backwards unless you choose to go backwards in compensation. All right. That's how it works. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully you got great value out of this video. Listen, if you did, or out of this podcast, if you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.